Name is Kajal Saini and my student ID is AC30092. I'm going to discuss about the case 1 and that is TPG versus Australian Competition and Consumer Commission.
The first case is about Australian Competition and Consumer Commission versus TPG Internet. In the advertisement of TPG, it clearly showed that TPG offered unlimited ADSL 2 Plus for $29.99 per month, under which the condition was mentioned that it is bundled with TPG line rental, for which was $30 per month. So, in total, the customer need to pay $59.99 per month. A majority held that these errors, reflecting differences in point of principle with the approach taken by the primary judge, led the full court into error in the performance of its appellate function. In relation to this advertisement, the High Court has allowed an appeal against the decision of Federal Court, which declared that TPG has engaged in misleading and defective conduct which breach under Section 52A, 52E, and 52G. The tendency of TPG's advertisement to lead consumers into error rose because the advertisements themselves selected some words for emphasis and relegated the balance to relative obscurity.
Now I will pass on to my friend Sukmeet and she will discuss the further case. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sukhmeet and my student ID is AZZ3007.
I will discuss about the decision given by court. In November 2011, Federal Court gave judgment that advertisement was misleading. So, TPG needs to pay $2 million penalties and other relief. Further, the case was held to full court in December 2012. The court gave judgment that TPG's appeal, allowed in part, bundling requirement and setup charges were adequately disclosed in some adverts, and full court imposed $50,000 penalties in April 2013. Lastly, the High Court gave the final judgment that full court erred in findings and restricted $2 million penalties. The High Court held that full court erred that the primary judge was wrong to regard the dominant message of the advertisement as critically important, in failing to appreciate that the tendency of TPG's advertisement mislead was not neutralized by full court's attribution to member of the target audience of knowledge that ADSL2 services may be offered as a bundle.
Now I will pass on to my friend Riddhi and she will discuss about the case too. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Riddhi Buddev and my student ID is INT3287. And now I am going to discuss about the case 2, that is Australian Competition and Consumer Commission versus Google Incorporation 2012.
It is the case about the Google search engine, which has displayed two types of search results in response to a user's search request: organic search results and sponsored links. Organic search results were linked to web pages that were ranked in order of relevance to the search terms entered by the user. A sponsored link was a form of advertisement. Each sponsored link was created by or at the direction of an advertiser who paid Google to display advertising text which directed users to a website of the advertiser's choosing. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission claimed that particular sponsor link displayed by the Google search engine between 2005 and 2008 had conveyed misleading and deceptive representations. By publishing or displaying those search results, Google was said to have contravened Section 52 of the Act, which provided that corporations shall not, in trade or commerce, engage in conduct that is misleading or deceptive or is likely to mislead or deceive. At first instance, the primary judge found that although the impugned representations were misleading and deceptive, those representations had not been made by Google. Ordinary and reasonable members of the relevant class of consumers who might be affected by the alleged conduct, who have understood that sponsored links were advertisements and would not have understood Google to have endorsed or to have been responsible in any meaningful way for the content of those advertisements. The ACCC successfully appealed to the full court of the federal court, which unanimously found that Google had itself engaged in misleading or deceptive conduct by publishing and displaying the sponsor link by special leave. Google appealed to the High Court. The High Court unanimously allowed the appeal. Google did not create the sponsored links that it published or displayed. Ordinary and reasonable users of the Google search engine would have understood that the representation conveyed by the sponsored links were those of the advertisers.
Now I will pass on to Ishita Patel and she will discuss the case further. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ishita Patel. My student ID is EMV3426.
I will discuss about the decision made by High Court of Australia for this case. In the initial judgment, the judge found the involvement of Google in the misleading act. However, the higher court in its judgment remained just true and fair enough. Google was not fined with any amount because it was not directly involved in any deceptive conduct. Its mediating role could have been misleading for the Internet users. The injunction was held over Google for the compliance program in future. Besides this, it was made to pay Australian Competition and Consumer Commission for the legal expenses for not willingly explaining the subject matter to the lower court, which made Australian Competition and Consumer Commission to go in the higher court.
On behalf of our group, I would like to thank you for watching the presentation.